Well, fighting the cold, not just by bundling up, but also battling germs. Have you ever wondered why we tend to get sicker in the winter? Today I was out getting the answer. First, the obvious.
Well, there's a lot of respiratory stuff that's going on now. As your common cold and sinus infections.
You're hearing plenty of sniffles, coughs, and nose blowing from your family, friends, and coworkers right now. It's annoying, isn't it? As we just got our first big blast of winter cold, we wondered, does the cold actually cause a cold? I talked about it with Dr. Michael Sevilla in Salem.
I get that question every year, as far as, does cold weather cause cold?
The big thing to know is that the common cold is a virus, and a recent study at Yale came up with two interesting findings.
One, the cold weather does help the cold virus multiply, replicate, get more of. And the other thing is that the cold weather, does decrease our immune system a little bit, have us an increased chance to get the colds.
Here's how. Cells which line your nose activate defenses when they detect a virus. They're active at body temperature, but when it gets colder, they get sluggish and don't want to do what they're supposed to. So the virus flourishes. That means you can catch a cold. In fact, the study also showed that 20% of us have the common cold virus in our nose at any time. So that old wives' tale of keeping warm and your nose warm seems to be a good idea. Now, the hardest part in fighting a cold is being patient.
Well, the best way, is to wash your hands. If you know you're around sick people, try to stay away from them. And you can try over-the-counter medicines. But if nothing else works, come on in and see the doctor, and we'll take a look at things.
So keep warm, drink water, get plenty of sleep. Those things will help you fight colds. You just heard your defenses get sluggish when it gets colder. How cold? Well, that's the next part of this story at 6 o'clock. Now, flu season heats up in February, but right now it's only active in 2 states, Virginia and Maryland. How many of you have a sick family member or coworker right now? A lot of you. There is something going around, but are people getting colds because it's cold outside? Now, the common cold is a virus. At 5, I told you how cold weather helps it duplicate. A Yale study said our defenses are active at body temperature, but when we get colder, they get sluggish, so the virus flourishes. The remaining question was, how cold does it have to get?
Yeah, that's a great question. The study didn't go into a particular temperature. As far as below this number, you have increased colds, but we do know in the wintertime that you get a little bit more colds and coughs than other times of the year.
So that old wives' tale of keeping warm and your nose warm seems to be a good idea. Dr. Sevilla also recommends washing your hands, drinking water, and getting plenty of sleep. You can see my full report on this story at WKBN.com.